Hi everybody. So I've just did this the other day, this picture. I'm just going to big it up for you. It's the polar bear out of Joanna's Christmas book. And I had quite a lot of feedback or questions on the bouquet. I don't even know if it's bouquet. I'm not sure how you even say it. The background anyway, which I've only attempted a couple of times. And this one was a bit of a, yeah, it worked out all right. I used a couple of reference photos off Pinterest. They're actually photographs, they weren't colouring pictures, just for some of the colours. So I used a limited range of colours. And yeah, I'm just going to go through. I'm not 100% happy with it, but what I thought I would do, rather than wait until I perfect it, I'm just going to share and go through on another of Joanna's pictures, just a small section of how I arrived at this kind of effect. And then I thought you guys can have a go as well, and then if you like find different ways to improve it or make it look a bit better, then you can share that with me, and then we're learning together, aren't we, which is really, really good. And that's how it's supposed to be. Let me just, there we go. I'm trying to get the light a bit better. It has got gold on there, so the gold does shine at some point, but that's one of the last things. Anyway, I've put at the start of the video all the pencils, so it's just polychroma pencils. I'm just going to concentrate on the background. So I've just grabbed another one out of the book. What I do like about Joanna's Christmas book is that you can take the pictures out because they're all perforated down the edge, which I love. Anyway, so we'll just take, say, should we just do like a kind of a middle section, maybe sort of kind of around this area here, and just sort of do a part there. It does actually take quite a long time, so what I didn't want to do is do a whole page because it would take forever. So this is more about giving you an idea of how to do it. So the other things you'll need, well, you don't necessarily need it, but basically the starting point is to draw some circles of different sizes. Now I have this, I don't know what, like stencil I suppose you would call it. Let's move that out of the way. So I got it from Amazon. It was I can't remember how much I paid for it, maybe $15. And it's got lots of different size circles, which is great. And I bought it ages ago, wanting to use it for a type of a bouquet background. It's the first time I've actually used it. It's upside down. There we go. But equally, you could do it by using circles, maybe using a compass and just doing different circles. You could freehand the circles, or even using coins or something to draw around. It's up to you really. It doesn't really matter. Freehand, if you're good at it, great. And all I started with, I took a couple of big circles. So sort of I picked this one, then I went with a medium size one, then a smaller one, and then lots of little ones. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Take a light pencil. Now with the big one, the other thing, let me just pull this so I can show you. The other thing when I did the picture and I was picking the circles, so say these ones here, this is one of the bigger ones, then I did a small one, and I made sure I overlapped, because then when you do the overlap and you colour in, you do that middle one like a lighter colour. So this is like a cream, this is the orange, and then where they touch, that's obviously going to make a lighter colour yellow. Put smaller, lots of the smaller circles everywhere. And some of them, so like on the edge here, the edge of the snow, which I actually penciled in, it's not actually in the original picture, but it would have took me ages to do the whole background in this kind of effect. So I kind of did a kind of hills there, and then I just did half a circle at the edge, and sort of here did half a circle. So you haven't got to do full circles everywhere. Think about where you know the circles would be. And then some of them as well, so if we move sort of over here, even though I'd put some of the stenciled circles in, so this was a stenciled one, that one, this one isn't, I'll show you that, that's just colouring from a spot outwards, and that one wasn't either, that was just colouring from a spot outwards. So, and I think those ones that aren't so crisp, especially say this one up here, that's not got such a crisp edge, I think that kind of blends in and works with this one over here as well, which wasn't a dead circle, I just blend it out into the background. That's what gives the contrast to the very defined edges on some, and then like that softer one, so it kind of almost looks like they're more in the background, if you know what I mean. Yeah, anyway, so getting back to this one, which I haven't planned because you know me, we just go with the flow. So it's working this centerpiece here. So I'm going to pick one big circle. I'll just grab this one and I'm going to do here. Now, as I'm doing the circle, I'm going to do extremely light pencil and only take it in the background. So I'm not going to go over the edge of the stars because this circle's going to be behind the stars, obviously. So I'll do one big one there. Now I'm going to go for a smaller size one and maybe sort of do that over the edge. So I'm going around. I'm not pressing very hard with this pencil at all because I don't want, because this is going to be quite light, so we're going to rub them all out in a minute. Even though we're going to spend ages if you're doing the whole page drawing them all in. Let's do another one here. Let's go a smaller size now, so maybe do just up the edge there. And do one there. I'm kind of just being quite sort of random about where I'm putting them. Not planning it too much, just trying to spread them out a little bit. Let's just do a plain circle there and then same size there. And we'll go down to an even smaller one now. A small one there. We'll do one on the bottom. Little one up here. I'm not sure how big I'm going to. It's probably only going to be this sort of centre part I'm going to do. Do one on the edge there. And then really tiny one. Let's do a couple of really tiny ones. Tiny one. Tiny one. I'm doing some over the edge, and then you do want a couple. You know, you don't want them all touching, so you do want a couple that are. Let's do a little one there. That are sort of on their own. And don't forget, as I'll show you in a second, I think that might do actually, to be honest, for the circles. Right, that'll do for now as the circles that we've sort of added on there. You can see all those there. The other thing that we, as I normally do, that I'll attack if you go back to here is at the very end, when we've done all the pencil layer, we will go in with a gold gel pen, and these are just all freehand circles over the top, these little all the gold ones. You can do quite a few of those, and that's the very last thing you do over the top. So yeah, with the smaller circles, put a few in, but you don't want loads because you can actually do lots of the smaller gold circles after. Okay, so there we go. We have I'm just trying to position it. We have the circles ready. Right then, now what I'm going to do, which seems ridiculous because I've just spent a while drawing them, I'm just going to get a standard rubber and I'm just going to rub out the circles, or rub over them, because I want the lines to be faint. So I'm hoping you guys can still see them. I'm sure you will, because I'm going to be going over in pencil, and what I don't want is black pencil lines to kind of show through. So I'm rubbing them out now, but I'm rubbing them out not so they totally disappear, but they you can still see them, but they're a lot less, and then they're less likely to show through. Let's get rid of all the shavings. All this stuff that I'm doing it this way around, do let me know if there's different ways, because obviously I was just kind of, you know, there's some great tutorials out there and I was just kind of making it up. So yeah, any improvements, please have a go, feed it back to me and we'll learn together. We'll try different things. Right then, so hopefully the camera's stopped picking it up, but you can just still see sort of faint sort of outlines of the circles now, and it won't show through. Now what I did was I had to look at my pencils, and so I've got my faint circles. Very different for me. I'm going to work from light to dark, so definitely go from light to dark. And I just sort of figured when I had this one, if I go light to dark, then I can always add more colour on top, but I can't sort of take it off easily. So just to talk about this one to show through, so I went through and I did just a cream one. I left a couple of the circles totally white, but just the cream coloured polychromo. I'll just take that sticker off there. I use the cream a lot, so I've got a lot of, I bought quite a few on open stock, so I got a sticker on. So a lot of cream ones first, then went in with some of the yellows, and then went in with some of the oranges, reds, pinks, and sort of stuff like that. So that I'm just going to do that. So we'll do a couple of the circles. What I found was as well, when I did some of the smaller circles in this cream, so it's the Polychromo number 103, so ivory. Even though I'd forgot, because you can hardly see it to be honest, but even though I'd forgot I coloured them in, when I was then going over, and some of the circles where they kind of lap over each other, they the pencil won't go down the same, so you still get the effect of it going through. You'll see when we get to there. So I'm just going to pick some random. I want to spread the ivory out a bit, so I'm just going to press fairly firmly, starting at the left hand side and sort of going right around the edge, half edge of this circle, and a bit lighter as we're going to the middle. I'm not going to take the colour right up to the edge there on that one. And I'm going to do the same thing. Let's maybe do, let's see, I don't even know because I'm not quite sure because it's so random. Let's do this one over here. This is quite hard to see because that rubbed out quite effectively, but hopefully you'll see this coming up more. So I'm just going to go around the edge. Now where that circle, it's just joining this little circle I've done, I'm actually just going to go around the edge, and I'm not going to colour on the bit where they join, because that way it will be a different colour eventually. So I'm going around to the edge of that circle, pressing fairly firmly just on the edge, and then doing small sort of circly kind of movements and going lighter as I go into the centre. Again with this light colour, I'm gonna leave the very, very centre part, just the paper white, because this is a very, very light. The really good one with ivory is you can add yellow and stuff to it quite easily, or the light pink. So there we go with that one. Hopefully you're picking this up. And I kind of think that might be nice, a dark colour. Maybe we do this big circle here that we did at the very beginning. The very first one we did, the largest one. So again, what I'm going to do is pretend this. So imagine this is behind the stars, obviously. So I'm not going to colour over the stars. And where it touches for now, I'm not going to colour on where they touch. That will be a different colour. Do that quite light. Darker in the edge and leave it going set to light in the middle, leaving it all white actually. I think it's depth, so it's on the bottom part here as well. Again, go over the top. And on this side, because we're always going to go sort of darker on the left hand side, going lighter, so I am going to colour this ivory colour, but I'm going to do really light and not go out so much. Because it's going to be lighter on this side of the orb. Would you call it an orb? What would you call it? Orb, I think. I don't know. Circle? Big dot? You know me and my dots. I love a good dot. Right, there's that one, and maybe we need one more over here because then it's kind of spread out. So with this one, let's do, I'm going to do this one on the bottom half, and I'm going to do the whole circle. So, and we can do that thing I was mentioning before. Let me just rub that a bit. See, that line's quite dark. Let me just rub that out a bit more. Doesn't matter when you're using like the oranges and stuff, but when you're using the ivory, it's going to show through a little bit. And as you'll notice when I did the close-up on my polar picture, it's never that perfect. You can't tell when people post and you put it on Instagram, you're getting that distant view. So you never beat yourself up, because when you're your worst critic, and when you're looking closely, you're looking at every imperfection of your sort of colouring. But when you pull back and you get the overall effect of the picture, yeah, those imperfections just disappear or make it more joyful. So I've done the whole circle in this one, and we'll do a whole colour on that, and you can see how just having that light ivory there will alter the colour anyway of the pencil that goes on top. And again, I've gone around the circle, put more colour on this bottom sort of left hand side and going around a little bit, and less there, because then that leaving that with the white paper showing through just gives it a bit of kind of 3D-ish effect. So that's that one, and then maybe let's do should we do a little one up here? Let's do that little one. We'll just colour it fully in ivory. Go around there. We'll do something a bit different with that one. Okay, so now I've done my ivory, let's go to our next lightest ones. So the next ones I've got are a couple of yellows. I've got 3 yellows actually, so let's grab those. These yellows here. So they are I've got cream 102, it's not even a yellow, it's a cream. Light cadmium yellow 105 and cadmium yellow 107. So if you're not using polychromos and you're using Prismacolor, just try and match something as the best you can. Or if you've got less variation in colour, then yeah, just any yellows you got, and you can actually press harder and firmer depending on what you want to do. So what I might do now is just pick a couple of the only maybe 1 or 2 for the light yellows. Which one should we do? Should we do this one up here in a nice yellow? So I'm going to go a darker colour, and I'm not going to use too much. I'm just going to do the edge there and go in with the lighter yellow. And the bottom, bring it round a bit. So I've got the problem with that pencil there, but we'll do something with that. And then the very lightest yellow that we had, just the cream, sorry, this wasn't a yellow. I'm just going to go around and bring that in, that's one. And maybe do one more in the yellow, so we'll start getting some darker colours in. Should we do this one down here? It's on its own. So I'm really not pressing too hard. It's a very kind of light pressure. And part of that is because when I start adding the background and that, I'm going to want to try and blend these edges in for some of them. So once you press too hard with a pencil, particularly polychromos, you get what's called a burnishing effect, and it kind of it gets harder and harder to add colour together. So keeping the pressure light just means that you can blend easier. Now I've got a yellow there. We really maybe should do a bit of yellow over here, eh? Should we do this one or not? I don't know, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so now we're going to start going in with more of an orangey yellow, and maybe start doing some of the bigger circles. So I've got my 3 little oranges here. Let's put them this way. So what numbers have we got here? We have dark cadmium orange 115, orange glaze 113, and dark chrome yellow 109. Okay, so again we'll go dark and then lighter. So let's do I think this one over here, or that might be nice, a nice deep red. Yeah, let's do this one. So remember I said with this one we're going to combine the colour. So we're going to go in with the darkest orange first, but we're going to stop at the point where the 2 circles meet, and at that point I'm just going to follow the edge around to there. Now I don't want to, a bit like when we did the yellow, I'm not going to take the darkest colour around all of the circle. I'm just going to do that sort of left hand side bit very light. Now I'm going to go with the next lighter orange and carry on. So all I'm doing at the moment is concentrating on this circle that's sort of sitting in the background. Take that round. Now go to the lighter one. And again, the edges, don't worry about it being crisp. you almost want the edges to be kind of a little blurry, so it hasn't got to be totally crisp. Now, what colour would it be where the cream and the orange one meet? It's going to be a lighter colour, yellow. So take your lightest from this 3 sections that you've gone up. So I'm going to use this one, the number 109. But then I'm going to also bring in the yellows that we had before, that we just used. So 107 and 106. And what I'm going to do is, in this section where they crossed, I'm just very, very lightly in that colour there. Then I'm going to go in with the yellow. And it's almost, imagine if you were painting and you were mixing the colours. So the pencils are, you know, like you were mixing the colours. This is what would happen. Then they go the lightest yellow. Just very, and I'm using very, very light pressure just to see what it looks like, because I can always go in after and put a bit more on, but harder to take it off. There we go, and you got that kind of effect there. Okay, so that's one orange. Go back to my 3 orange combo that we had, and let's do one of the circles. Maybe if we're going to do maybe a red there, maybe do this one, a nice dark orange. So this will be one of the ones with the crisp edge. We're only going to do 2 orange because we're going to use quite a bit of orange in the background, and we're going to use pinks. So the colours that I showed at the beginning are just the exact same colours I used in the polar bear one. That's why I've picked them. But really, you could use any kind of colours really, but you do want to limit them a little bit. I think I might try it once I get a bit better at this. Maybe I should try and see if I can do a multicolored one. I don't know if it'll work or not. Be an experiment. But it would work with, you could do kind of like blues and turquoises or greens or whatever, I would think. Yeah. So I'm just using the 3 colours that we had before there. The plain circle, dark at the edge coming round. I've got a little circle on that one. Don't know what colour I'm going to do that. Maybe pink, we'll see. Well, that'll do that for now. Let's do this one at the bottom in an orange. Hopefully you can just see this one. I'm trying to see what you can see. I don't think you can see this one at the bottom. I'm just going to move it up while I do it. There, there's one here. The lighter one. Again, this crosses over, so I might do a bit of that yellow thing that we did. I'm going to go in with the yellow where it joins. Right, okay. Now, I'm just going to do this one. I'd like to do a really, really, really dark red. So let me just pull back the polar bear one. So see, like this one here, this big dark red orb there crossed over. So we're going to do one like that. Now, because it's so dark red, we are going to use these colours here. Taking it through to the orange. So you want to go with not the pinky reds, but more the kind of scarlety reds. So we have burnt caramine. So we have 193, 217 cadmium red, and 219 scarlet red, and then 118 scarlet red as well. Sorry, deep scarlet red and then scarlet red. Right, so they're the ones. So this is going to be probably the boldest orb and the one that, you know, will stand out quite a lot. So on this one, we're going to take, let me just pull this in for reference so you can see, because I am actually looking at this. So when I did this one, I did the really dark colour here going round lighter, and then where it met this orb, we did a kind of a lighter part there. So we're going to do that but in reverse because it actually meets the orb on the bottom here. So the bit that doesn't meet, I'll do the darkest colour, and I'm going to keep that edge quite crisp. So this is the number 193. Bring that around. Right, now there's like that. I'm going to do small circular motions with very light. Press it quite lightly. It's not like me pressing lightly either. I tend to go in, I'm pretty heavy handed normally with polychromos. Go in with the darks and just, yeah, press so I get solid colour. I think that's because my background is from markers and fine liners. I came to pencils after, so yeah, could be that. I think that might just show it poking through there. Right, now go in with the middle cadmium 217. I'm going to actually go over quite a lot the other one. So over the edge, so right, not to the very edge of the orb, but I'm going over quite a lot and layering slightly. Again, still doing small circles though. I'm taking that colour around a little more. What you'll find is, well, what I found when I was doing the one on the polar bear was these kind of almost like first layers that I'm putting down, and I'm really not a colourist who does layers, but it does become layers because as you can see, you can still see some of the white paper poking through, and you won't want that when you finish. But yeah, at the moment, because so many things could change, because I don't know exactly where everything's going or what colours they're going to be. It's okay. You can always go back in and add. I can go back in and, you know, make the press down further once I'm sure that's the exact colour and that's where I want it, and I'm not putting anything else over the top or whatever. And I'm going in with the orange. There's a little circle there over. Now I'm doing this, I only had the full pencils, but that's going to be too much orange on its own, so I'll add another colour as well. I think. I'm just going to add in my next orange, my next darkest orange, which I happen to have here, is dark cadmium. Oh my god, how'd you say it? Cadmium orange, is that right? You know what I mean. It's like when I'm, even the word bouquet, I don't even know how you say that. You're probably cringing as I'm saying it, but hey, I'm doing my best. I'm going to take that orange out, that's a nice blend. Now I've got I might go over with a gold gel pen, but a gold gel pen will directly go over this colour. Go over pencils fine. So I'm actually going to go in and get rid of all the whiteness. So now I'm going on with my second layer. Now I know where the colours stop and start as such. Get rid of those whites. Get rid of the whiteness of the paper. Nice and firm now around the edges there. I do like the paper that Joanna uses in her books. So, well, a lot of the you know, the quality adult colouring books, it's the paper's really good. It can make a huge difference. Joanna's has got quite a good sort of tooth to it. Right now I'm going to press quite firm with this nice red, because really this bauble should be red. This kind of deep scarlet this is. There we go, that's nice. Circle in there. And go in. And the orange. Right then, okay. that'll do. Again, don't worry too much about the edges because we're going to be going over the edges and stuff. So we've got a nice deep red one there. Maybe let's do another little deep red one here, a quicker one, so keeping it lighter. Again, that's touchy, so I'm not going to do that. I haven't decided yet what colour that's going to be when it joins up, so we'll work that out in a minute. Dark red, sorry, I should just know them, but I don't. Now I'm on 217, okay, mid cadmium red. Now my deep scarlet red. My favourite red out of the polychromos, I think, deep scarlet. What's your favourite? And then just scarlet. Yeah, scarlet red. Alright, I'll come back to where it joins over in a minute. So now we've got those colours there. So let's look at this. So if the cream and the red join there, this isn't, should be more of an orangey kind of colour. But that red is so dark. So I'm going to take the scarlet red and just lightly outline where they join, so that keeps the red, and just very lightly small circles to fuzzy that line a little bit. And I'm actually going over both sides. I want the line to be slightly kind of fuzzy. I don't want it too crisp because this is where it's joining. Now I'm going to go in with an orange, because that would be, if you do cream and orange, so it's going to be a lighter red, but I want the orange kind of show through. So now I'm going to use the 115 orange, very, very lightly go where that red is, and then go over this, along this edge bit here where it joins the red. There we go. Now I'm going to go in with the next lighter orange I've got, which is the 113, and just on the inside again. So I'm just going lighter and lighter into the centre, and this one I'm keeping it so light so you know you can kind of see the white through. And then the last one I'm actually going to go with the yellow. Is it dark chrome yellow 109, and we're just going to go over that middle part. There we go, and that should look like the cream one is sort of layering over the top of the red one. So we can do the same over here on this little edge here. Smaller, so harder to do. So if it's smaller, I won't use as many variations. So I've just gone orange and yellow there. I'll just mop that up a bit on there. There we go. And I might do this little ball here a bit red, I don't know. Okay, so let's decide what colour we're doing this one. And we've only got a couple of more, and then we can start doing some backgrounds. So this is exactly how I did it yesterday. So I'm going to do, I think that little ball against the orange, I'm just going to do one colour, and I'm just going to do the deep scarlet. Is this deep scarlet? No, that's scarlet. I want deep scarlet. There we go, deep scarlet, but the tip on that's not looking very sharp, so I'm just going to sharpen that. A bit cleaner edge, there we go. And this one, I'm just going to literally keep it, use the one pencil. And still colour just on the side, and just leave a bit of white to give the highlight. There we go. And where's the other one? So there's a little one here. Let's do that red as well. Go in with a bit of an orange. So I've gone in after with 115. Make that block. This one just a bright yellow, I think. And this one, should we do, what colour should we do that one? Should we do that one a yellow? Yeah, let's do a light orangey yellow, but I'll start with a light orange. Whoops. So I'm starting this with a, going to go quite orangey yellow, I think. Oh, and that's where it joins, so that's going to be lighter anyway. So that was number 113. Now I'm going to go in with 109. That's the edge there. So see, I've made that error there because I've got that orange, but that's okay. No errors, just fun accidents that we can use creatively. Now I'm going to go in with the next yellow, which is 107. Now with this yellow, because it's the lighter one, I'm just going to be the one that goes on there. Now I've got light cadmium yellow 105. So I'm pressing quite firm, going over all of it just to give a kind of a yellow hint to this one. Use that 105 just on the edge there to soften the edges. But then in that centre part there, just go in with the cream. So cream 102. There we go. So yeah, I've made a boo-boo there going over, but don't worry, when you pull back and stuff, you won't even notice it, she says. You won't, honest. I'm just going over a little bit, blend that in a bit more. Anyway. Right, okay, looking at that, so I think we can start doing some background bits now. Oh, I've got to go on that orange with that red because it doesn't look right. Okay, with a couple of the these kind of lighter ivory ones, I might just add a touch of the cream as well as the ivory, just to give it a hint of sort of more yellow, just a bit more substance. I'm just looking a little too light maybe. Well, so there we go. We'll go back. Right then. So there's a couple of the balls. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some background. We'll go with the pinks now. So if I pull this through, what you'll notice is when you're looking close, as well as how sketchy it is. So I've done the balls in the oranges, the reds, like the crisp balls. If you sort of look here in the oranges and the reds, and there's half a ball there that I didn't even finish off. Who said balls have to be totally round? You can do half an orb or ball, whatever you want to call it. So I've done those in the creams and the yellows and the reds. These pinks are all background, and that's what I'm going to show you now, and that's the next stage I'm going to do. And none of those were actually drawn in circles, they're background parts. So the pinks you will need a range of pinks. Let's put them in order of which you colour in. So I have magenta 133, and I have fuchsia 123. I have pink Madder Lake 129, salmon 130, and then the beige red 132. So that's the pinks I have. Oh, sorry about that. So again, this time we're going to go darker outwards. Now with this one, I am going to make sort of circular things, but I'm not actually going to have a drawn circle. And the way I'm going to colour this one is start dark in the centre and then work out. But what I want to do is just have sort of still have these kind of placed. So maybe one there, we'll do one here, we'll definitely do one here, and maybe a little bit coming out from here, and then maybe a little bit from here, because you want also some space for black as well to then, let me just go back to my reference. So you're going to sort of do these like pink orbs here, and you know, you might have a bit of a pink background there or a pink orb here, but then you do need to leave some space to get a bit of this black brown contrast. Not a lot, but a bit to give some background, because if you've got that deep dark background like that's kind of almost behind the orbs, it just makes these orbs kind of stand out more 3D as well. So definitely that, but that will definitely be the last thing that goes on. So I've marked a couple of places with this dark pink. So all you do is on that place, I'll do this one here. So I'm going to do a small little circle, edge of a circle. So I imagine like this pink circle's sort of behind there. Keep the edge soft. Go in, that's with my fuchsia. Sorry, with my madder, was it madder? Magenta. Now I'm going in with my fuchsia, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to go slightly over the edge and then around the circle, keeping it soft again. And all I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to my next one, which is the lighter pink again. So that's the pink Madder Lake 129, and I'm going to go out after the magenta and doing small circles so it sort of blends. Go out from that circle. Now you see there where it's going to cross one. This is where I was on about, if you're doing light and going over, you can't actually, it doesn't let you go over the ivory, which is good. So that's that one. This is the first layer. Then I'm going to go in with my salmon. And then lastly the very light pink, which is the beige red, even though, yeah, 1, 3, 2. So this one here, it's quite small. This is like an example one. So now I've done that first lot, what I'm going to do is go back now, and you'll find they'll get bigger this way. But I don't know why I do it this way. This is just how I do it. I'm going to go back now with my first one and just go over and blend it out a bit more. And the second one. Third one. And then that one. And then this last pink I can take kind of out as far as possible. We are going to get some black in there, but we're going to take the pink out a little bit. There we go. Right, so basically that kind of principle of starting from the spot and spreading out, I'm now going to do that at the others, but what I'll do, I'll pause and I'll time lapse it so it doesn't take quite so long. Right, hopefully that time lapse worked. Soon enough to wait, and I can string them together, me and my phone and my little app. So I've got these pink ones sort of happening now and sort of blending out. So the next thing now is to put some black in these bits here, because that's what's going to give it depth and make sort of the orbs all stand out. Now if I pull the polar bear back, I actually did a little bit of brown in places where there was too much black, but just used solid black in others, and then blended through into like the red colours. So I'm going to do the same thing. That was more of a, because I just didn't like the solid black totally. There are parts where solid black works. So say down in this area here where it's quite a small area really, I think solid black is going to be fine here. So I've just got the black polychromo, and I'm going to press fairly firm along this edge. But then as I go to the edge, whilst these are still quite crisp, I am going to sort of do small circles so it starts to go a little bit lighter. It's very subtle, but you kind of want a little bit of wispiness. See, that red's quite crisp, but the cream one isn't. And I don't want it to be. I want it to be a little bit wispy because it just makes it like from a distance like blend a little better. So there's a bit of black there. There's obviously an obvious place for black is going to be in this part here. So let's just go in with the black here. So again, when it's close to that star, I can keep it pressed nice and firm and go in small circles. But as it starts to get to the circles, or where it starts joining the pink, I'm going very, very lightly because I want that to sort of blend in. So still maintaining some of that kind of pink shape, but I want it to blend in. I don't want it to be too solid. And go back to nice and dark in the center here. Dark on the edge of the star. Alright, and then go near that. I'm going to go lighter circles. So what you'll find is the pencil actually won't want to go over it too much. It's almost like because you've put the other pencil down, there's a bit of a sort of barrier. It's not going to want to go over, which is good. Where you've, you know, done it quite firm, but where you've done it lightly, well, hopefully you will be able to blend slightly better. Alright, this middle section here is nice and dark, so that middle section there is all dark, but then I'll press on there, and you're going to go over this part with gold gel pens. And nearer the edge there, I need to blend it in. So now going quite light. It's sort of right on the edge there. Here's another bit of black. Okay, I'm just going to pull back there a little bit and look at it. So see here, then with this orange one that has no like clear edge, and with that one there, I need to sort of blend that in a little bit better because it's quite a stark contrast from the kind of the black to the pink, if you know what I mean. So this is where I'm going to get this, the two reds. So the reds that we used for the dark orb was the 193, and the one that I'll use the most probably is the 217. Let's go in with the 217 first. So I'm just very, very lightly where the edge of this black meets the pink. I'm going to go over it a bit. And do it here as well where the black meets the pink. And what I'm actually doing is pressing more on the black, so it's not quite as black, so it's got a bit of depth of red to it, so the contrast with the pink won't be as much. And then I'm going over the very edge of the pink a little bit there. Now I'm going to get that lightest pink, which is the beige one. Beige, sorry, no, the one up from the beige, the what's it called? Salmon 130. And then on just the red, not over the black, very lightly. Just go over that to try and blend that red into the lighter pink a little bit more. All I'm trying to do here is get the transition from the black to the pink a little smoother, so it kind of goes fuzzy rather than you've got a distinct line, if you know what I mean. And this is the bit where I'm not 100% certain this works. So as I said to you before, I'm not 100% happy with the way of doing this, so there's a bit of experimentation going. And that's why it'd be really good if you guys kind of get a better way, or do something, can think of something different, or you try something else, let me know. All kind of learning together and coming up with stuff. Red's kind of taken over a bit there. I end up going with, I didn't mean to kind of totally circle that one, so I'm just going over with a bit of the pink now. That was one of those ones that was just cream, but it's now got a bit of pink on it. Oh well. Oh well. Meant to happen. Okay, this one down here. Now I don't mind that one being crisp, because that orb is quite crisp. But let's just where they join, make that slightly red, so it's got like a red tinge. If you think about it, a bit of that black would probably seep through here, wouldn't it? So maybe that's where we end here, actually. Let's go back with that red bit. let's do over this side a little bit. Oh, hang on, I'm going to do this bit here as well. So yeah, it's not a quick process, this. And I find when I was doing it also, you'll keep looking at it going, oh, I just need to change that bit. Oh, I just need to change that bit. So you'll be dipping in and out of it quite a bit as well. Or I found I was when I was doing that polar bear one. And at some point you have to go, that'll do, leave it alone. So you could take spend quite a longer time doing this backgrounds this way. But the end effect is good. Again, I've got a bit of pink there now, so I'll put that in. Right, let's just do this bit here. Oh. I haven't used that brown pencil at all, so maybe just the red and then the pink to blend that is actually works a bit better. So there's something I've learnt while I've been doing this one. So the edge of the black, if you just use the red and not the brown, just the red and the pink. So that's that. Now obviously, what I would do now, like I'd continue doing black down here. A bit of black up there, black over here, but I'd also be putting more little balls and whatever in. So I'm gonna let's just do the edge of this, so you get this bottom one effect, and then we'll go in with the gold gel pen, and then I hope you'll have enough to have a go at least, and then yeah, let me know how you're going. And share any happy accidents you have or anything that you find you get, well, if you do this happens, and I'll be like, yes, perfect. That didn't go very well. Okay. That needs to smooth out a little bit better. Right, okay, I'm going to stop there because this is where you can just keep going, keep going and keep going. So anyway, you got some little bit of effects there. What I would do lastly now is get the gold gel pen. Ta-da! So this is just a Signo Unipol gold gel pen, which is one I always use. And looking at this, there's a few things you can do. So definitely on the black areas, you're going to do lots of little dots. But first I would look at this and go, okay, where do I want some sort of, you know, circular gold dots? Now you can use, if you have one of these, you could use this, but I was just freehand drawing them, to be honest. Yeah, because they're going to be quite small. So maybe do one here, do one here, here, and literally just go in and add a couple of the gold dots. I'll do one poking out from there. I'll do one over there. I'll do a little one on there. I haven't done the black up there, but... And then when you've done a couple of the balls where you want them, and just do some random dots against the black. And careful, let the gel pen dry. Don't smudge it. do the other ones here and there. Very nice dots. Right, there we go. I'm just going to finish there. So hopefully you've got the gist of the method. I'll move that around. I don't know if you can see there we go, a little sparkly when the gold shows up. You've got the gist of the method that I used to do the polar bear background, and you can have a go. Yeah, and you just keep doing the same and spread it out, whatever background you want to use. Again, easy to change the colours on that. Just make sure they're kind of complementary colours. Yeah, have an experiment. Tag me, let me know how you go, and share what you've learnt as well. Yeah, thanks for watching along while you have. Okay, have a good Christmas, everybody. Bye.